So put on your yarmulke. It's time to celebrate Hanukkah. Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd go see a movie, and we talk about it in Matt's car right after the movie in the parking lot. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy. And yes, we saw a movie with Adam Sandler in it. Well,
Do you get what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Okay.
Because that song Adam Sandler sings.
Yes.
And we are even still close to Hanukkah time. I'm not sure exactly when it ended, but pretty recently. So anyway, tonight's episode, we'll be discussing the movie Uncut Gems, in which Adam Sandler plays the lead role, not a comedic role, plays a serious gem. Well, I guess he's a jewelry store owner. Is his main job. He's also a degenerate gambler, and you just kind of watch his life spiral out of control. That's what the movie's about.
Yep.
So, Todd, what'd you think?
Let me start by saying that I think there's a good movie in there, but I feel like you have to trim a lot of the fat to get to a good movie that's in there. I think Adam Sandler does a great job of playing a swarmy, degenerate gambler who, just can't control himself anymore. He's looking for that big score. Everything is for that big score. Everything he does is to get that fix and to feel that feeling, and anyone is addicted to anything. So I think he does a really good job. There's some fine supporting cast members, performances. Idina Menzel plays his wife, who they're they're estranged but they're together. They're lying to their kids. They're just kind of still around each other, but it's very clear that they're not together. She does good. Everyone does pretty good in this movie. That's the nice thing to say about it. The not so nice thing to say about it is that it is like a 2 hour and 10 minute movie or something. It's like something close to that, maybe 2 hour mark, and really it could easily be an hour and 25 minutes. And I think that's how you make it a good movie, is that you cut a lot of it out. It drags at times. I mean, the whole call of this movie is comparable to when you're driving and you see a car crash and you're slowing down to look at the car crash. That's the whole point of this movie, is that you're watching this car crash of this guy's life. But by making it such a long movie, you're stuck in this car crash and it kind of just gets boring. You're like, okay, there's a car crash. I'm kind of done with it. Let's move on to something else. So there's parts of this movie that drag a lot. But that's not even what I hated most about this movie. And I don't know if I'm going to say I absolutely hated this movie, but what I did not like the most of this movie was the really bad soundtrack to it that relied heavily on this weird synthesizer thing that anytime there was a serious moment in the movie, you are met with these bong, bing, bong, synthesizer beats that are just stupid. It is mind-boggling stupid. That it's, instead of having some intense music that can draw you further into the scene or whatever, it's things get serious and it's wah, bong, and it was just really bad. It took me out of every serious scene. I audibly laughed a couple of times because it just doesn't fit, and it was really, really bad. It brought down everything that you can say that's good about this movie is brought down by that horrible, horrible choice that I don't know if the director makes or the music director, composer. I don't know who made this decision, but they should absolutely be fired and then smacked in the face for what they did with this. So I was really excited to see this movie. I think I was excited to see Adam Sandler go for it. I think he went for it. I think he did pretty okay. There are times where he turns into kind of like his natural state of it's not a lot, but there are times I think it's just his natural state of when he doesn't know what to do, it's what he reverts to. But in general, he plays a very convincing degenerate gambler who can't control himself. And so I think he did pretty well. Like, but that's the highlight. Everything that I could say is good about this movie is destroyed by the bad synthesizer music that will haunt me. Why anyone, like when someone's watching the final cut of this movie before it's released, I don't understand why anyone wasn't like, that's not a good choice. That's not good. I should not put that in there, or we should revisit that, because it's after the fact. Like, it's not even like you have to reshoot the movie. You just have to decide to not make this weird choice.
It's almost like they dropped in, like, this is just placeholder music that we'll put in here.
Yeah, exactly. Here's random file number 5.
Yeah.
And then we'll revisit this and put in an actual suspenseful tone. But no, you got bong, bing, dong. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. That's what it is. Like, that's like, I'm not just like saying that to be funny. That's exactly how it sounds when you're like in the serious moments. So that's a huge minus to it. So, would I suggest this movie? That's hard. I think I'm going to err on the side of, yes, I would suggest this movie, asterisk. It's really long, and the sound choices are going to ruin it for you. But there's a pretty compelling performance in it. There's an okay story to be followed. It just should be a little bit shorter. And Kevin Garnett does pretty okay. As typically I don't feel most of the time people deliver when they play themselves in a movie. But I feel like he did pretty all right. Like, not too much of a negative towards his performance. So anyway, if you have 2.5 hours with credits to spare and you want to see an interesting story and feel like you're stuck in a car crash for 2 hours, then go for it. If that doesn't appeal to you at all, then you could probably miss this one.
And who doesn't want to be stuck in a car crash for 2 hours, Todd? Yeah, I don't like this kind of movie. The kind of movie where it's just the main character is just missing on every good thing. Like, all chances of redemption are not taken. There's some, like, minor times where maybe he tries for a minute, but really, I think you hit the nail on the head when you mentioned addiction. It's really like someone who is an addict and his addiction is gambling, or hustling for money or whatever.
Sure.
But he can't make a right choice. He can't see past the next big fix for him, which is winning some money in gambling. And so, it's pretty depressing for me to watch a movie like that and watch, someone. Most of the movie, I wasn't even rooting for him. I was just like, you're getting exactly what you deserve, really. Yep. So I would say don't see this movie unless, well, I'll say what you said. Unless you feel like getting in a car accident for 2.5 hours, then you might like it. Maybe if you've dealt with some addiction in your life, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that means you should see it or you shouldn't see it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. I do agree with you, Todd, that there were definitely some good acting performances. It was really weird to see Adam Sandler do something serious. But he did do a good job portraying what he was portraying. I didn't like what he was portraying, but the acting was good. The synthesizer was bad.
Oh my gosh.
And generally, I thought the overall plot was... I thought it was a little bit predictable once you got locked into, like, nothing good is going to happen. Only bad things will happen.
Right.
Then it was like, oh, well, how's this going to turn out bad? Oh, this is going to happen. And you could sort of start to predict things happening. Right. But
yeah, the only thing that sets this movie apart from other degenerate gambling movies is that Adam Sandler played the degenerate gambler.
Right.
That's like the really only thing
right.
that sets it apart.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I thought.
So, Well, how many Kevin Garnetts would you give this movie?
Kevin Garnett's. I was sure you were going to go with opals.
I thought about it, but I wanted to give some props to Kevin Garnett because I do truly think that a lot of times when people play themselves in a movie, it comes off not great. And I think he did a pretty good job.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to give it 1.5 Kevin Garnett's. Not the worst movie I've ever seen, but I wouldn't really recommend people seeing it. And overall, I felt worse for watching it. I mean, I didn't like watching it. How about you?
I'm not too far off. Like, I want to give some credit where credit's due for the acting performances. The script's not bad. So I think I'm going to say like 1.8.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, that's me kind of stretching too, that I want to reward. But I also want to subtract for whoever made the synthesizer. Like, I think I'd probably be in a 2.5 range if not for the synthesizer. I'd be like, this isn't breaking the mold on anything. Adam Sandler deserves good credit that's coming to him, but overall I'm like somewhere in the middle. You can take this movie or you cannot take this movie. That's where I would be if it wasn't for the really bad musical choice that will haunt me, like I think for a while. I'll be thinking about it for a while, just how frustrating it made me. But at the end of the day, and I'll be having this mentality for a long time, it wasn't Cats. So I'm okay with the experience.
It wasn't Cats.
Also, I forgot to mention at the top of the podcast that I saw a movie with my daughter a couple of days ago. So I will give a little mini review because I doubt we will see it together.
Do it.
We saw Spies in Disguise. And it was pretty good. I thought I did not think I would like it at all, but I ended up falling for it. I didn't love it, but I was like, you won me over with your charm. So
you would date it.
I would date it, yeah. I don't know if we would last.
Right.
But certainly
Summer
a couple.
fling.
Yes, yeah. Summer fling, perfect, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beach trip and then over.
Yeah.
Duet, just like Grease, and then cut it off.
Fair enough. Well, now I want to go see this movie with you, Todd. You've piqued my interest.
I mean, I'm still in a summer fling with it. It's not,
right.
It's not over yet. It's only been a couple of days.
Fair enough. Well, that does it for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed Uncut Gems starring Adam Sandler. And I think our average was 1.65 Kevin Garnett's. Not great, but not Cats. So
definitely not Cats.
Thanks for joining us again, and keep on listening to our podcast because we like it.
Da 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 da.